Hello everybody, this is a short introduction video on how to use Managebac. You will find your Managebac in year groups after you signed into Managebac. Your class will probably automatically show, so you don't have to do some of the steps that I'm doing now. I'm choosing for this purpose IB Diploma class. You hit the cast button and then you should, Brazil, sorry for using you, you should get right to this page. Here you have a short introduction video, you don't have to watch it, it's quite short, you don't really learn much about Managebac here, but here that's quite interesting. You have some ideas for creativity, activity, and service. Might be interesting, especially if you don't quite know what to do for some of the strands. In order to log a CAS experience, a CAS project, please hit the button Add CAS Experience in the top right. That will bring you to this template. Here it's very straightforward. You add a name. For this purpose, I just refugee group Immensee. I'm just using this right now. Since if you feel that this is your CAS project, that means if you're following it longer than for a month, if you're collaborating with somebody, and if you're following the CAS stages, investigation, preparation, action, and so on, you can hit this one. Once you make something a CAS project, it will require a bit more documentation than just series or single CAS experiences, because you really need to show your CAS stages. Here you select the strands. In this case, it's service. You can also select, once you hit service, what kind of service it is. In this sense, it would be direct service because we are working with people. And maybe we do some advocacy as well. I can only hit one, so I'm going to use direct. The approaches is going to be ongoing, community-based. And here I can select my start and end date. That's very important because later on that's going to show, you're going to get an overview of how long each of your experiences and projects are. So I'm going to do this till the end of the year. Add your supervisor name here, and it's very important when it's a teacher from school that the email address that you're using is the .ch address. If you use any other address, that will mean that the supervisor request that you can request later when you're finished will not be forwarded to the email, and teachers usually don't check if on Managebac if they have any requests. You can also choose a supervisor from outside. That is fine. You don't necessarily need to enter an email address then. Once there's a different way, and we can talk about that later on, you will make a teacher the supervisor then who can sign off on a form that your supervisor that you worked with had to fill out. But we'll talk about that when we get there. We still have some time. Put a bit of a group overview here. Mrs. Wasner knows and your advisor knows what the project is actually about. So give the main information. That can't be done in a sentence, especially if it's a project. It should be a bit more extensive. So give it some time and also think about your personal goals. Here you can select your learner outcomes. You can select up to 3, but give it some thought. Now, for example, if I work at the refugee group Immensee, one of the learner outcomes I definitely want to tick is ethics and choices of my actions, because I'm engaging with a group of young people who have lost everything. So for me to come in there and maybe not follow through with it could have more negative impacts than it actually helps them. So I really have to think of how I act, how I behave, and how my actions actually might affect these people that I want to help. Maybe if I initiate that, I can do initiative and planning, and I could do some other things as well. When I'm done, I can add that CAS experience right here, and then it's going to show here, and it's going to show the learner outcomes here. Now, if you want to do anything here, if you want to add a reflection and so on, you could click here, View Reflections and Evidence. Now, I'm not quite sure if I can add anything here, but let me just see, Edit Aims and Goals. Let me have a look at it. No. Okay, you know something? I will give you an update later on how to add a reflection.